Da. Oh god, her uniform's fucked up too.
How many
and
times
she's
has she
bleeding.
been pushed down these stairs?
I don't think that's what's happening here. She's from the fight school. Is this why our text box has bandages all over it?
It's gotta be.
Oh gosh.
Oh, the name part of the text box is a band-aid.
Yeah.
Just realized.
No matter how many times I blink, a second eye doesn't suddenly grow on her face, and I finally realize that what I'm seeing is reality. Faced with this girl, who looks like she belongs in a fairy tale, or a Greek myth, I begin to panic. Strangely, though, I'm able to keep my fright from showing. You know, in Greek myth, the cyclopses were the children of, what, gods and furies? Or
I'm not sure, but they're usually huge.
Some kind of a fae folk style.
They're giants,
Oh yeah,
though.
they're giants. They're giants with one eye. Almost nothing actually depicts them in that way, if it's like characters that are supposed to be sympathetic, though. Especially stuff coming out of Japan for like the last 10 years. If it has a cyclops in it, it's usually a human-sized cyclops.
Right, it's a Leela.
Which is weird. A little bit, yeah. This situation is so unreal. I guess my brain just refuses to fully acknowledge it.
It's less that it's Greek mythical cyclopses and more like it's sewer mutants.
A little bit.
Like, just straight up, it's Leela's.
They're literally just human beings with a single eye.
Yeah.
The big thing that confuses me about stuff like this, though, is when you think about it, that eye would not fit in that head.
No.
There's no way.
I mean, it could just be a very strangely modified brain case, and then maybe some of the actual brain is in the brain stem or something.
It's so much, though. It takes up so much of the head. There would be no reason for the eye to exist like that.
It could be that the eye itself is curved in a way that would, for a human, fuck up the ability to see. Because of the way the light would reflect it?
Eyes are almost exclusively, especially in mammals, spheres.
Yeah, this is a monster person.
You can't really curve it.
This is a cyclops.
If you curve it, it would not just fuck it up, it would completely remove, like, huge portions of your vision. People don't realize this. Well, I mean, people do, but not everybody knows this. Human beings actually have one gigantic blind spot in our vision, in both eyes, because that's where your nerves are. It's the point of your eye where the light bounces in, hits the lens, and then hits the nerve. That nerve is a blind spot. You don't see it because your brain fills it in. But everybody has two. And they tend to be all over the place, but I think there's like a general place that they can be. But even that, like if you were to curve the eye, it would take out like half your vision.
Well, what I'm saying is, because this is a monster girl in a fantasy setting, perhaps that there's weird shapes going on in there in incredibly complex ways that she can see like a person without having person eyes.
Well, on top of that, typically when they depict cyclopses in anime and stuff, they give them exceedingly good vision, which is like, I don't think that having a bigger eye would give you better vision.
I mean, like it's secretly a compound eye on the inside.
I mean, maybe. That could work, but then I don't know why it would have,
it
like,
probably
the iris
still
and
doesn't
everything.
work. It probably doesn't, but
also, you'd have terrible depth perception if you only had one eye.
Maybe she just keeps tripping down the stairs.
You know what? Maybe she bumps into things a lot. Maybe that's why she's all like
Yeah,
this.
she's a little more fucked up than that, though. If she has, like, a caring home life and support network of friends and authority figures, like, she would at least have a mended uniform.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
God.
Let's read the
thing. Anywho. I heard crying and I came to see what was going on. Are you alright? The longer the silence drags on, the harder it becomes to break it. I try to come up with something, anything, to say to force myself out of this stupor, but my mind is completely blank. At this point, anything is better than silence. It seems her mind is just as blank as mine. I work my mouth soundlessly a few times before finally spewing out the first thing that comes to mind.
Oh no.
Do you need something to wipe your face? Her uniform is black, so I can't tell if it's wet from her crying into it? Wait, what? Oh, so I can't tell if it's wet from her crying into it. Okay. I said that with a question mark for some reason. She doesn't have a handkerchief or anything, though. Yes, she does.
Kind of?
I mean, like... It's not really what those are used for, but I mean, you can. I produce my own handkerchief from my pocket. Why do you have one?
Yeah, why not just have tissues?
And move to offer it to her.
Like, those little pocket packs of tissues are really common in Japan.
I don't think and I don't think anybody in the world has used a handkerchief since like the 1800s.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were like hipsters that use them the way there's
so
like
disgusting.
hipsters.
You're literally carrying around like a snot rag.
Yeah, well, it's like people who smoke pipes or whatever, where it's like, oh, I'm doing things the steampunk way. You know, that kind of person.
I approach the girl sitting at the top of the stairs to give her the handkerchief, and once again she starts shivering in fear. She's looking at me like I'm some kind of monster. Am I really that scary? Isn't she the monster here? By the way, the only animal that I am aware of with complex eyes, like comparable to human beings without a blind spot, are octopuses.
Well,
no blind spot in an octopus's vision at all.
All right.
They have exceedingly good vision, and they just lucked into it. Like, evolution just kind of gave them a fucking, like, poke in the right direction, and they just developed eyes that don't have that.
Maybe she's an octopus.
No, I'm just saying that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a Band-Aid. It is a Band-Aid, but it almost looks like it could be a cookie, too. the little name tag.
It's a vanilla ice cream sandwich.
Something like that, yeah.
Thank you.
You two-eyed freak. I hold out the handkerchief. I hold the handkerchief out stiffly for several seconds. Then cautiously, oh so cautiously, she takes the handkerchief and wipes her face. Those are the first words she's spoken so far, but her trembling voice is so quiet that I almost don't hear her.
That's you.
Yeah, I noticed. I only transferred to the school about 2 months ago. I don't think I've seen you around. This is definitely the first time we've met, of course. I'm sure that if I had seen her before, her face would have been burned into my mind.
Yeah.
There's no way I could forget what I'm seeing now.
Oh.
Should I ask her to give my handkerchief back?
No.
It's obvious from the way she's looking at me that she's still confused and afraid.
It's wet. She can keep it.
We're not going to get anywhere at this rate. We must be in different classes, since I haven't seen you around before. What grade and class are you in? I'm in class 2 too.
Class 1, 2.
So she's a year
first
younger?
Year? I think that's how they're structured.
Yeah, because it seems like that. He was talking about the third year classes, and then he had to go up a flight of stairs to get there. She actually gave me a proper response this time. She really is a student here, I guess. Not a monster or something.
This guy! I mean, I guess this is the first time this has happened to him.
Suddenly it hits me that I've been sharing the same school and, hell, the same
Cuss
world
word.
with this person at all times. Oh, 1 year lower then.
A Kohai. Yeah.
The conversation grinds to a halt again. I can't think of anything else to say. Actually, that's not true. I have a mountain of things I want to ask her.
Don't offend her yet.
Why do you only have one leg?
Yeah, that's just one long pant, not a skirt.
But she's actually like it's not even a skirt.
Naga.
It's like it's the mantle on like a sea slug foot.
Oh.
Like, we just can't see it. But all of it has to do with her appearance, and I'm hesitant to bring that up. Time passes as I hurriedly try to think of something to say, to fill the silence. What can I say? My mind is totally blank. Why was this in the text box? Why couldn't this have been in the one without his name on it?
Yeah, what's the difference?
Because there shouldn't be a difference.
The narrator is our guy.
Unless she can, for some weird reason, read minds,
Maybe.
there's no reason for that to have happened.
Her eye is a giant brain.
Every heartbeat seems louder than the last, and the panic I thought I had subsided.
I thought had subsided.
Okay, I saw an eye in there for some weird reason. Wells up inside my mind again.
You thought you saw an eye.
I don't think I can keep this up. Right, well, I have to get going. The girl looks like she wants to say more, but without another word, I turn and run down the stairs.
Watch your step.
I head to the shoe rack, change my shoes, and start running home.
Holy shit.
Ah! I walk on for a few more seconds after clearing the campus gates. Then I pause for a moment and take a deep breath.
Turn around, she's there.
Jeez. It seems that girl didn't follow me, or even call after me. She's probably still sitting at the top of the stairs in that desolate stairway. A cool wind is blowing as I walk home, and I gradually regain my composure. My heart's still racing, though. I think I'm going to feel uneasy about what just happened for a long time.
I'll bet.
I was really surprised. Maybe I still don't fully understand what I saw. I'll have to think about it some more.
So, assuming, by the way, that there's like some normal reason that she's got one eye, like,
Yeah.
oh, like there's just monsters at this school you didn't know? Well, there are.
She could just be a human being.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know.
It could just be a thing. But, like, she was up there crying and her uniform is absolutely wrecked. And it's like, do you think maybe you just, like, handed an assault victim a handkerchief and was like, well, bye?
And ran away.
Like, dude, you could have at least asked if she needed help with, like, do you need to, like, call a teacher or something?
Yeah. Was it fear? Was I afraid of her? No. There's nothing scary about some girl. Even if she's... Honestly, I can't shake the thought that she might be some kind of monster. But she must be a human high school student, right?
She could be a monster high school student.
I was definitely scared out of my wits at first, but I think if she wanted to hurt me, she would have done so.
Someone is hurting her. Look at her.
In fact, she's beyond harmless. She seemed as timid as a mouse. But if that's the case, why do I still feel uneasy? Is my mind just unable to accept that she has only one eye? No, that's not it. It's not like I was avoiding staring at her or anything. No, I was staring straight ahead, eyes locked on her singular eye,
Yeah, you were
mouth agape.
making eye contact with her would look like you were staring, so...
Making eye to eye to eye
Avoiding
contact.
looking at her would also look like you were uneasy.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I could have looked away, even if I had wanted to. Whatever, it's not worth dwelling on. that cyclops in the stairwell. Who cares? The fact that I'm not disgusted by her after all this means it was just pure surprise.
You sound
right?
disgusted.
Yes, I think that's a reasonable conclusion. At any rate, I think it's safe to say anyone who saw her face wouldn't forget it anytime soon. It seems like he's insulting this person.
Yeah,
a
this
lot.
guy's a dick.
As I'm thinking this over, I finally arrive at the familiar entryway to my home. I was so absorbed in my thoughts, I guess I was on autopilot all the way home. I'm
Shoots.
home! Oh, it's...
Oh, welcome home. You're a little late, aren't you? What were you doing?
Kimi roped me into being her errand boy. She wanted me to deliver something for her. Da-da, da-da. Huh? Oh, ha. Later that night, I let out a deep sigh as I was lying in my futon, unable to sleep. For some reason, I couldn't tell my mom about the one-eyed girl. It wasn't like it was a traumatic event or anything, but I almost feel guilty.
You should.
Yeah, for running away like a dick, sure.
From someone who was bandaged up and torn and crying?
Yeah, at any rate, I can't stop thinking about her face. I know that if I don't fall asleep soon, I'm gonna have to rush to school tomorrow. I try to forget about everything that's happened today, but I just can't keep my eyes closed. She looked like she wanted to say something back there, but I panicked and ran away. I kind of regret not staying now.
What you should regret is not, like, finding a teacher or a cop to say, like,
Yeah.
hey, this girl's in trouble.
I roll over in my futon several times, but eventually I come to a decision. I'm gonna try and find that girl again.
It's probably not hard.
Yeah, right. She gave you her classroom number too.
Yeah.
It's 1-2. Like, you gonna forget it? I feel like I should have at least learned her name.
It's gonna be the girl that the package is for. Like, 100%.
The girl the package was for was a third year, though. Oh, it's another clicky. Okay. I was, like, confused.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh. Huh.
Huh. Act 2.
Have an eye for...
They really tried to make this, like, as anime as they could.
Huh.
The next day... I try to clear my head as I'm walking to school, but I can't stop thinking about that girl. Should I leave class during the break to go look for her? It's going to be difficult to leave without a good excuse, though. Maybe when school's over, I'll go to where I met her yesterday and say I just happened by.
Just happened by the locked roof.
But there's no guarantee she's going to be in the same place today. Besides, I didn't exactly handle that situation gracefully, leaving her like I was trying to run away. Definitely not the best first impression to make. I'll have to think of some excuse for going. Why did I even go to investigate her crying in the first place? I'm not even sure I know myself.
Because as a human who lives in a human society built on the idea that none of us are alone, the idea and sound of someone in distress kicked in an instinct.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to point out that I don't know, do you think he still has that thing he was supposed to deliver and got, like, bored and gave up on?
Yeah, he's probably still holding it. He took it with him into his house, and I swear he probably slept with it on his chest.
Yeah, like...
Whatever it is, a textbook
this
or whatever.
This book in a bag that he didn't bother actually looking at to see what it was.
And didn't think to ask any of the people in that classroom who knew who he was looking for. Nobody thought to be like, oh, well, I'm that person's friend. I'll just take it. He didn't
said
ask.
That. He did say, like, should I ask them? Like, nobody's talking to me about this. That girl. I don't even know her name. What should I call her?
Oh my god, don't call her anything.
Wait, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Before I even think of what to call her, I have to actually find her first.
Finds her, walks up like, hey, eyeball. Oh shit, that was my internal name for
What
you.
up,
Shit.
One Eye? I'll ask her name, introduce myself, and that'll probably be good enough. She'll probably think I'm some kind of freak, but I guess that's fine. Maybe if I just talk to her, it'll lighten some of the tension between us. And he gets to school and everybody's a one-eye. Oh no!
I hope
That's
so.
the hook. I look up to find I've arrived at school. Looks like I was on autopilot again.
Oh god, is it gonna turn out that, like, the walk to school is through a fucking portal? And he just never noticed?
Yeah, maybe. I get inside, change my shoes, and head up to the second floor where my classroom is. As I walk up the stairs, I see something strange moving out of the corner of my eye. Huh? Peeking around the corner of the connecting hallway is a head of brown hair. It's the girl I've been seeing in my mind all morning.
She looks like she hasn't changed.
No,
or
not really. Or clipped her nails in quite some time.
No, nails can just be that size. It's not that long.
I know. I seem to be the only one who notices her head popping around the corner. She must think that pose will keep her totally hidden, as if she's in a manga or something, but she really stands out. At least to me. She's moving her eye around frantically, and sure enough, she picks me out from within the sparse crowd.
She's just returning the handkerchief.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I'm so surprised to see her, all I can think is, why is a first-year student on the second-year floor? Before she hurries up to me.
Here. Am I loud enough?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. just be a little louder, like project a bit more. She hands me a familiar handkerchief. That's right, I had totally forgotten that I lent it to her yesterday. I take the handkerchief, which she's folded neatly into a perfect square. I think she even washed it. So
Okay.
she is washing things.
Yeah, but so that's the only uniform she has.
Yeah, so she didn't mend her own uniform, but she washed your handkerchief.
Huh.
Yesterday...
Oh,
wait,
that's,
no, that's you.
me. Yesterday, thank you.
As soon as she says this in her tiny voice, she runs down the stairs and vanishes around the corner. Hold on, wait. I can't stop myself from calling out, but the morning bell rings, drowning out my voice for me. Oh well. I head to my own classroom. See, oh well should have been under his voice.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be in that dialogue box. That doesn't make sense.
The idea that there's a difference between the internal narration and the internal monologue
there-
is weird. I mean, I guess that's how it works.
Doesn't make any sense. This time he got to skip first period, so now it's just lunch and school ends.
I guess.
The lunch bell rings. I stash my books in my desk and bolt out of the classroom.
Do we really want to have had to sit through the classes, though? It's just a skip.
No, I know. No, we gotta sit down and do 8 hours of Japanese schoolwork.
Which I personally would find kind of interesting to see how that would be implemented, but would probably not make for a very good LP.
No, not at all. I didn't even get to thank that girl for washing my handkerchief. I go to look for her to say what I wanted to earlier. I have a good excuse to talk to her now. I can't let this chance skip away. I arrive at the end of the hallway, but instead of going down to the first-year classrooms, I head upstairs. I don't know for sure, but I think there's a good chance she's going to be up where I met her yesterday. Well, even if she's not, I can just look elsewhere. I get to the 3rd floor and keep going up, all the way to the stairs that lead to the roof. Hey. Just like yesterday, she's sitting on the same step at the top of the stairs. I see her shoulders jolt when she hears my voice, and she looks up at me. Her mouth is opening and closing rapidly. She clearly wants to say something, but can't find the words. She's in the same position I was in yesterday, it would seem. Thanks for washing my handkerchief. I didn't get a chance to say it earlier.
Yeah.
There's a lot of confusion in her soft voice. The fact that she's looking everywhere but my face tells me she's not sure what to do.
She doesn't want to scare the shit out of you with her giant eye.
Or something, yeah. I'm obviously making her uncomfortable, but I'm not going to run away like I did yesterday. So, this is where you eat your lunch, huh? Do you mind if I join you? I say this as gently as possible, as I notice the lunchbox she's got perched on her knees.
I would have liked a visual.
That's a good place to put it, I guess. That's such a weird sentence.
Well, I mean, he's acknowledged that this monster girl doesn't eat her food off the floor like an animal.
That's a good place to put it, your lunchbox, there on your knees. Yeah, if you're going somewhere during lunchtime, you're probably bringing your lunch as well. While we're talking, I take out my own lunch. Now that I think about it, I don't know if she has any other friends to eat lunch with.
Huh? Oh, no.
Her answer comes too quickly, and I wonder if she really means it. Her eye starts darting wildly around the corridor. In her effort to avoid making eye contact, she begins to look even more nervous. Thanks, I'll just sit down on these steps. She didn't tell me to go away. At least I take a seat next to her and unpack my lunch.
Well, she's scared of you.
This seems to startle her, and she leans away from me, as if she's trying to escape. I sat next to her, but it's not like I'm that close to her. I'm a little offended. While I unpack my lunch, I look her over as casually as I can manage. Up until now, I was fixated on her eye. But really? You didn't notice, the bandages right above it?
Yeah.
What a dick! Does she not have thumbs? Did we see thumbs when she was
No, she's got
peering
a
over the
thumb on
corner?
her bento.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
good point.
I think it's just that chopsticks are hard to drop
I
hand
guess
positions
that makes
for.
sense. Up until now, I was fixated on her eye, but the rest of her appearance is pretty striking as well. Her head is covered in bandages, her hair is messy and unkempt. Her uniform looks like it's been ripped apart and only partially stitched back together. I catch a glimpse of the skin of her shoulder and stomach, and it looks far from normal.
Her lunch looks like it's a real lunch, though. It's like someone somewhere is feeding her, or she's able to acquire food on her own, so it's not like
Yeah.
she lives in the garbage or something.
I notice that she has bruises, or perhaps birthmarks? I'm not sure which. All over her legs, her neck, and anywhere else I
Why
can
would that
see.
be a birthmark?
You'd be surprised.
I mean, yes, there are birthmarks that aren't like moles, but
Yeah.
there's blood coming out of her shoulder.
Well, that one's clearly a bruise. The skin on her dainty limbs looks white as a ghost. She doesn't look healthy by any standard. Is that Suddenly our eyes meet. I guess I was staring too obviously.